I'm not one. The grand majority of the Son of God has tended to lean on the side of, if it's mentioned in the on this earth to judge it, and it's very literalist, like, that's the lens that we see actually through. So I think that in terms of even the things that have been mentioned, you don't know if they're getting told past life, the life that they're living now, all of the components that have led them to be making the action that they're committing at that moment in that time. So I think that even when it's stuff that has been mentioned, I don't know how much we have the power on this earth to say it's completely loved or hated by God.
Sure. So let me go into that a little bit more. This is very good. I'm going to have to step down because I'm not a little bit hard to hear everything you said. So, but what I understood you said is that. Okay. I messed up the whole thing.
I ruined the whole story.
Yeah. As long as it's not longer. So, what I wanted to ask about, sorry, so what I wanted to ask about is this. Well, actually, first let me reiterate what I understood you're saying. What you're saying is that we as human beings on earth shouldn't really be the ones who are judging whether no one of us has the right to say this is loved by God, what you're doing is loved by God, or what you're doing is hated by God or opposed to Him. So what you're doing is loved by God, or what I'm doing is loved by God, what you're doing is hated by God. If you want to be loved by God, you have to do what I do. That's what you're saying, right?
Even in terms of things that are most clearly prescribed, like, I don't know, anything that there's an obvious distinction. I think even on this earth we fall into the kind of really believing that we can judge somebody from a very surface understanding of what their action is.
Yeah.
But there's obviously a much more complex path and a very convoluted story that led them to the specific situation that they're living.
Yes. So I think that's an excellent point. And I want us to make sure that point is clear to everyone. Okay, so I'll clarify it the way I understand.
Yeah. I'm asking you to speak on the topic.
Yeah, I will.
No, stop.
Okay. So to speak on that topic, when we say, like when I specifically said something is loved by God, or hated by God, or not mentioned per se, right? I'm talking about the action. It is doubtless, in my mind, that no person living on earth today can know how much any other person is loved by God or hated by God for sure. I'm doubtless about that. And the reason I'm doubtless about that is because I'm doubtless that Muhammad was the last messenger and prophet on earth. So the only person that can know that for a fact is a prophet or a messenger. Alright? So that's the first thing. So the first thing is no one. No one that will ever live on earth from this day until the end of time will know for a fact how much one person is loved or hated by God. And ever be able to say it. See what I'm saying? So that's the first fact. Or the first that I believe is a fact. The second that I believe is a fact is that there are actions, not people, actions that I am doubtless God hates. And I believe in that as fact as much as more than I believe that I am who I am. Like I am doubtless that God hates killing innocent people. I am doubtless that God hates I am doubtless that God hates adultery. I am doubtless that God hates fornication. I am doubtless that God hates certain acts. I am doubtless that God hates that a person would give birth to a child and not own up to that responsibility if they are of the same mind. Like I am doubtless of these things, right? But what I'm certainly not doubtless of, what I'm actually certain of, as opposed to, is that people who commit these actions, it doesn't automatically make them hated by God. In fact, it's the opposite. Like in my mind, I look at every person as a person who, because they are human, because they are honored still with life and breathing, they are loved by God. Now, what does that mean? I'm not saying that in a preachy type of let's all, hold hands and kumbaya, no matter the killer or the rapist, or everybody's the same, and we all we're all loved by God. and nothing matters. What I'm saying is that no one knows intention. No one knows what background led to that person doing what they're doing. And no one knows what will happen to that person after that exact action, right? So, for instance, you could have a person who seemingly is doing the worst actions, but that person inside has a deep-rooted love for God that's yet unrealized. And when they realize it, they become a person who changes this world for a tremendously better situation. In fact, they make an opportunity for others to have ways that they can express themselves and live and be happy that they otherwise wouldn't have had without that person being there. So, what does that mean? It means that we cannot judge people, but we can and have to judge action. What do I mean by judging action? I mean that we have to be able, as human beings, because we believe as Muslims that we're given honor for guiding earth. Like as human beings, we are the creation, we are the beings on earth that are supposed to be honored with taking care of earth for God. So in taking care of earth, we are supposed to uphold that which will make people on earth happy and prosperous and peaceful. Now, does that mean that we condemn people? That doesn't mean we condemn people. What that means is we have to judge actions. Like we have to be able to differentiate good action from bad action. So why is that necessary? Because as human beings, we have motivation for the things we do, and then we have the things we do themselves. If we have motivation that's positive, and we do something that's negative out of lack of knowledge, our motivation being positive doesn't change the effect that that negative action has on people. So, for instance, I may have a positive intention because of some weird justification that I've made that killing a person who's being mean to people, all right, gets rid of that meanness, and so the earth will be happy, all right? Even though the person didn't harm anyone that intently. But killing that person gets rid of mean people. Let's say I've gone to this deep edge where I feel like killing every mean person on earth is the way to make people happy, right? My intention is actually positive. I want people to be happy, right? But the action I did is negative. So the fact that my intention is positive doesn't justify the negative action, doesn't make it right. So the action still remains negative. Even if I am one of the best people there is, my judgment, my lack of judgment, caused me to do an action that hurts people, that hurts life. And that actually comes into play when we talk about people who go to extreme religion. What happens is those people start out with very positive intentions. They start out wanting to make the world a better place. They start out wanting to end oppression. And then what they end up doing is going further than positive action. They go to any action that will satisfy their motive. And when a person goes to any action without judging of the action, then that means that you will have habit on earth. We have to be able to judge our motivation and intention and judge the action. So how is it that we judge actions? Because everyone, if we poll this whole world, all right, we will likely come up with